This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So this session is about CCIE Data Center version 3.0. It is an introduction to it, but if you already know about it, please don't hesitate asking questions. My intention is to address all your queries, doubts, questions, to set very high parameters based on your expectations. I'm ready to go beyond and out of the box, beyond my limits and out of the box to fulfill your expectations. This particular course, I always believe and I always do call that this CCIE Data Center course is basically a zero to hero course. That means we do start this particular data center course from basic to advanced. There are certain technologies which are not covered anywhere, I can say, across the globe, except with a big major training companies, and I believe maybe it is certain training companies, but I have not heard, and those contents we are going to cover in this particular course. I welcome all of you once again. Let's take this session as an intro plus Q&A session. I am ready to introduce what is there in Data Center version 3.0 for all those friends who are new to this particular course, and let us take this course as a Q&A course. So this means that anytime in between this, how many hours left, right? Not full 60 minutes. We have got around 39 more minutes left, but let's make this session as an interactive session. I will let you know what am I covering in this particular CCIE Data Center version 3.0. If you have any critical questions, any high parameters kind questions where you can help me set high parameters, please feel absolutely free. And I welcome once again No, Rishti, Rizwan, Rayon, Rahul Sehgal, Shobhana Murugan, and Yashwant Krishna. About myself, as I was saying, I am a data center solution architect working with a company, and training being my passion, because not only that I learn, but because that I learn by giving a lot to you people. So about yourself, yes, I would request you to please do connect to me on LinkedIn, and this is, this help us to know about each other. CCIE Data Center certification and training course. But before I begin, this is my agenda, what I'm going to cover. I'm going to talk about batches and timings, blueprints, technologies to be covered, duration of the course, labs, hands-on. Yes, you should be thinking this data center is something incomplete without doing the hands-on. So how we are going to do our hands-on lab, HOL? That's definitely I'm going to address. And you should be thinking what study materials you are going to share. Are we going to have some online study materials as well? So I'm going to address all those questions. But once again, any moment of time, if you feel you have a question, you want to interrupt, guys, I always believe that and love, I love you guys interrupting me in the class. And specifically during this online sessions, when we do not see each other, when there is a lack of eye-to-eye contact, please do ask me any question in between. If the question is there in the future slides to be covered the same day, I may park the question, else I will immediately reply back to your questions and any critical question. So let me ask you, do you have any questions so far on any particular point which you want me to address during this 1 hour session? I will note it as the agenda for this discussion. No?
And Noah, thanks for putting this session together. I just got a quick question. I have a feeling that some of us might not really be on the same level. Like in my case, I've got CCIE Data Center written already. My interest is just the labs and having an opportunity to be able to practice and do any training required in preparation for a lab. Hey, is this something you're covering as well? Because I just don't want to be the and if there's really nothing for me here, is this something you're going to be covering as well?
All right, I got it. Please correct. I'm just going to repeat what you said. I understand that you are already a CCIE data center and your
Written,
interest,
written,
am I right?
written. I've got written already.
Okay. And your interest is to do hands-on lab.
Correct.
And can you tell me which version of data center did you clear? 1, 2, 2.0.
It was two. The one before this, the one before version 3.
Before current version, which is version 3,
Yeah.
version 2 and a minor release in version 2 called 2.1.
2.1. That's the written that I did. So before now we used to have a written. Then once you have your written, you go for the lab. So I had the written for 2.1, and I was preparing for the lab. Then we had the global shutdown, so I couldn't really go in and do the labs. So now I'm pretty much preparing again to go back and do the labs.
Okay, so you were preparing for version 2.1, and then on 24th February 2020, there was a global shutdown which was announced, and due to which you couldn't write the lab.
Correct.
And now you want to practice the labs.
Correct.
So, here another question comes on top of my mind. There are two parts. One is, do you want to learn the technologies, right? I'm asking very abrupt question, a very straightforward question, or you just want to practice, right? The lab for version 3.0, which is nothing but, you can call it to be as, sophisticatedly, people, they do call it as a boot camp. Right? Boot camp, which means preparing the lab dumps. So, can I ask you if your intention is
so for me, for now, on the job, I'm already working on most of the technologies. So and I'm actually been studying the technology as well. So what I'm more or less looking for is an opportunity to just practice lab workbooks, any simulation available out there, and get myself in the lab exam and get it done. Like I said, I was a week away from going to do the lab initially. Then the shutdown happened and Cisco issued out vouchers and all that stuff, so I couldn't really go in and do it. So for now, just thinking towards and all through the lockdown, it's just been working and working. I work in the field, I work in the data center day in, day out, ACI, UCS, VMware, and all that. So it's just me just going in and getting the lab exam done.
okay? No, in that case, I will talk to you offline and will help you to get a peer who can cater to your this need. But
Okay.
right, but the holistic intention of these classes, which I'm going to start from Monday, is to make sure that I strengthen my friends in terms of technologies, all the data center technologies: Nexus, VXLAN, ACI, UCS, storage, Python, and HyperFlex. So that's the intention. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Snow, for asking. All right, so let me welcome Mahesh and Rick Wood, who has joined recently, along with our other friends. So guys, anytime, any question, most welcome. So, well, you know what? If you ask me a question, then it will be better to tell you the specific answers. And that is nothing but that is going to help everyone. So Mahesh, do you have any question about what this data center version 3.0 session is going to be? And Rick? Okay, so guys, a quick from my side. There are 2 steps to get your CCIE data center numbers. One is you have to write the written exam, which is called DC core exam. Of course, this is a technology based exam, so you have to know the technologies. The duration is 120 hours, 190 to 110 questions. It is associated to CCNP data center, CCIE data center, and Cisco certified specialist. It tests various components, and these are the components which we do cover in our technology classes. Then there is a lab. Probably all of you know this is an 8 hours long lab. Now this particular 8 hours long lab is divided into 2 modules. First part of this lab is called design, which is of 3 hours. Second part is called the real lab, which is 5 hours. This design lab earlier used to be called as diagnostics. Now it is called design. Hardly there is any difference, right? Except that more number of questions are being introduced. Earlier it was 1 hour. 1 hour means 10 questions. Now it is gone to 3 hours. So this means now Cisco is asking you 30 questions to be addressed, where you cannot do the backward navigation. If and a question is answered, it is answered. You cannot go back and correct or change or modify the answer in case if it is specified. Just wanted to let you know this. And this, our configuration and troubleshooting lab is now moved as a deploy, operate, and optimize lab, which means that lab will be pre-configured and you need to do some additional configurations and optimize the configurations in case if some configurations are incorrectly being done, then you have to correct those configurations. Earlier we used to call this as configuration and troubleshooting lab. Now Cisco has changed its name to deploy, operate, and optimize lab. This lab earlier used to be of 7 hours with backward navigation possible. Now this lab is reduced to 5 hours. This means from the lab point of view, yes, it is more simplified. I have noticed recently that some of my friends, they cleared this, but sorry with regards to this. So it is just a matter, right, that in order to change your face over here overall, you really have to understand the technology simply by going through the workbook, right? You will not get the number. In order to understand, you have to, and there are definitely some offline questions which I can address, which wherein I can give you more insight into it. Why am I telling you this? Because I holistically believe that in case if you are over here, your intention besides knowing the technology is to get the most coveted CCIE number, right? And of course you would love to put this logo in your profile, right? So in our exam, what different topics? Data center, this is what Cisco says. That's the reason I have put a link over here. Anytime if you want to verify, you can go to Cisco site and can verify. Over here, if I talk about the major technologies which we do cover, we do talk about Nexus. As I said, this is a 0 to hero. This means it is not that you will directly take a rocket and reach the moon. It's just simply that you will take your first step towards the launching pad, which means you will not only learn the niche technologies in Nexus called VPC, VXLAN, but before that, we will make sure that you make your foundation strong with regards to hardware, with regards to software, with regards to component called VDC, and then only you should go to the topics. Anyway, Nexus, at a high level, I would like to segregate this entire topic structure into the components called Nexus, then VXLAN, then ACI, then storage area networking, then UCS, then HX, HyperFlex, and then automation using our scripting languages. So this is entire what we do cover in our complete CCIE Data Center version 3.0. And that too, we make sure that we do cover more than what is asked by Cisco in just our exam. So this is not the exam oriented, this is more than exam oriented learning over here. Lab equipments required, I have a list of lab equipments. These are the equipments which are expected to be there in the lab in your exam, and the software versions, different software versions for our Nexus 7000, 5000, 9000, 3000. We have got our APIC controller. I'm sorry, this is an obsolete version. The current version of our APIC controller is 5.2, but in the lab examination, you are going to get version 4.2. Well, for the purpose of our ACI, the version which we will be working on is the latest version, which is version 5.2. And you know, this is the version I am fallen in love with, because all the bugs which I noticed and suggested many times to Cisco offline, right, they are mitigated in this particular bug. So besides this, all right, DCNM. I am sorry to say and sorry to inform you that version 11 of DCNM is now obsolete. Cisco introduced version 12 of DCNM, which Cisco transformed into what we call it as Nexus dashboard. And we will be using this particular version of Cisco Nexus dashboard, and the version is version 2.1. in our one of the beautiful lab called ACI multi-site lab. So dear friends, for the first time, I believe in your career, you are going to get the interaction with Cisco Nexus dashboard, which is a flagship of Cisco, right, tools. And what is this CIMC? CIMC. This CIMC will help us to troubleshoot certain things. This is called Cisco Integrated Management Controller. I'll cover the component of this as well. But this is because a background entry door to the servers for troubleshooting, right? We'll explain you how we can use it for the purpose of troubleshooting our servers. Which servers? Our APIC servers. So these are some of the software we are talking about. At a high level, just as I just said, we have got 6 modules. First module is Nexus, wherein besides covering the hardware, software, VDC, we cover VPC and VXLAN. Of course, this is a lab-based. This is our lab-based. We cover ACI. It looks very small, but our majority of time, you know, 1/3 of entire journey will be dedicated to this, which means our 3 months we will be covering ACI. We will be doing ACI for 1 full month, and this is again a full-fledged 0 to 2 hero course, wherein starting from the basic lab till the advanced lab on ACI multi-site micro segmentation we are going to cover. I'm going to show it to you. Storage area networking. Why? Because for the purpose of UCS. What is UCS? UCS is nothing but it is an architecture. We are going to architecture of server and fabric interconnects and so many other tools. So SAN will be incorporated into UCS, and both SAN and UCS, both of them, they will be there in a topic called HyperFlex. This is nothing but this is called hyper-converged infrastructure, wherein we will happen to see a cohesiveness between LAN, SAN, and compute. Finally, for the purpose of ensuring that we are capable enough to automate our network devices, we have module number 6, which is part of our network automation. This is called module 6, wherein we will learn Python. Python, I do call Python as a mother language, mother of all the languages, even C++, even Java, all the languages, they came after Python. Python seems pretty new language, but it is one of the oldest language. So Python nowadays is a buzzword in all the fields. You talk about networking, you talk about storage, any field. Okay, this is just the high level journey, what we are going to cover. So now, would appreciate, since because I am going to talk about the module, each and every module, right? Would really appreciate if you have any critical question in this discussion with regards to Nexus. Let's be very abrupt in asking questions. Check whether your requirements and your parameters which you have set in your minds are going to get fulfilled over here or not. As I said, it is our 0 to hero course, right? So we are going to talk about those topics as well, which are not part of our CCIE Data Center version 3.0 blueprint, like Nexus hardware, Nexus software, VDC. They were very much there in use in version 1.0. In version 3.0, they are of no usage. But from the knowledge point of view, it is no point of going to the next topic, say VPC or VXLAN, without knowing it. Then we have VPC, pretty old, still very much high in demand. Everywhere in all the switches, it is being used, configured in all Nexus switches. It is, we are going to do, not theoretically, but with regards to lab. We have got 2 labs over here. One lab is for the purpose of giving you demo and practice for you, and there is another lab, that is lab on demand. In case if you are done with the first lab, then I will assign you the next lab, right, to do a more advanced practice. No, I'm sorry, this is applicable for VXLAN. In case of VPC, we have one specific lab. When it comes to VXLAN, I will be giving you 2 labs. One wherein I will give you a in-depth discussion, explanation of VXLAN with regards to each and every individual command. The second lab, then I will give it to you, right? Believing that now you are a sailor man, you can sail your ship, the big ship called VXLAN. And I'm sure once you are done with the handsome understanding of lab number 1, you will not at all find any challenge, but you will find it more interesting. There will be a couple of questions while doing this particular lab in your mind with regards to VPC, right? So you will say that, oh, we have done VPC. Why not to introduce VPC in VXLAN? Yes. In the second lab of VXLAN, we have introduced VPC along with VXLAN. All right. Okay. And you know what? This VXLAN is pretty important for our next module, which is called ACI. Why is it so? Because in ACI, we will talk about VXLAN as one of the control plane protocol, and we'll say need not configure it. Why? Because it is auto configured. I have seen, experienced many times that my friends, they do come, what is this VXLAN? We have not done VXLAN. Those guys who directly jump over to ACI without knowing VXLAN, they simply scratch their heads, thinking, what is this VXLAN? Why we are missing VXLAN? Okay, Nexus hardware. What all I talk about in Nexus hardware is right in front of you over here. We will be having a detailed, handsome understanding of chassis, line card, fabric module, supervisor engine with regards to various important models like Nexus 9000, 7000, 5000, 2000. Understanding about Nexus 9000 hardware is very, very important from our ACI point of view, because when it comes to ACI, the very first thing is to know about our Nexus 9500, Nexus 9300 switches. Dear friends, my intention is to make you as a solution architect, right? And as a solution architect should know the nitty-gritties of hardware, software, configuration, everything. Only then he can be considered as a design architect, because you will be ordering the bill of material. If today I ask you, have you ever seen system controller, right, in any of your switch, you will simply say, really, system controller is something we have never talked about. System controller is there in Nexus 9000. What is the function of it? Very simple, but important. Okay, this is what we will talk about. We'll talk about the chassis. We'll see absolutely blank chassis and how these chassis are different from that of Nexus 7000 chassis. Why we call these chassis as one of the most advanced chassis. We will cover this under Nexus hardware. We will talk about Nexus line cards with regards to Nexus 7K, different models spread over different generations, evolution of the line cards. We'll talk about supervisor engine as used in Nexus 9K, as used in Nexus 7K, different models, half width, full width, but not to that depth level, to the depth which a solution architect requires. In the Nexus operating system, which is a modular operating system, we will talk about what makes it a modular, what is the role of a kernel, and where the operating system is built onto. We go to that particular depth. And when it comes to virtual device context, which is a big blessings given to Nexus 7000 switches only, we will talk about what is the concept of VDC. This VDC concept you may not be required in your lab. Why? Because in case if Nexus 7000 switches are given to you, Cisco will make sure that it is chopped into multiple virtual switches called VDCs, and you will not get an opportunity. Unlike the CCIE Data Center version 1.0 candidates they got, because they were asked to chop one Nexus 7000 switch into a VDC for the purpose of storage area networking. But we will be covering that as well, and that too in a handsome detail in storage area networking as well. VPC, I really need not tell you what is VPC. If you people are from the background, from the data center, you know what is VPC. But pretty important, very, very important. Available with different names with different vendor devices. You call it as an HP devices, or you call Huawei. All of them, they have multi-chassis ether channel concepts. Cisco calls it as VPC. We will be talking detail about it. There was a time when VPC used to be a very hot question in our interviews. Multicast? Why multicast? Multicast is an additional, right? Is a complementary question, is a complementary topic given to you people to make your journey comfortable with regards to VXLAN. This is basically a multicast is basically going to be a refreshing course focusing towards the usage of multicast in VXLAN. So we will be talking about what is multicast. We will be talking about what is the concept of rendezvous point and what are two variants of rendezvous point, right? And you will happen to see that multicast is getting used in, right, ACI. So it is basically a refreshing course on multicast. And this is the topology of our first VXLAN lab, wherein we will learn how to configure these spine and the leaf switches, how to make sure that the server over here can talk to the server over here. And in case if any server is there outside ACI fabric, how the server can talk to those servers inside the ACI fabric. This is just a glimpse of the lab, first VXLAN lab, which we will be covering. Guys, please interrupt me, stop me, ask me in between, right? And I'm sorry, I have to join another meeting sharp at 4 in another 21 minutes. All right, so I have to stop this. This is what our VXLAN is. So in case if you have any question, make sure your questions get well addressed. Nexus Labs, for the purpose of hardware understanding, software understanding, VPC and VXLAN. We have handsome labs. ACI. Well, I just want to say ACI speaks itself. No one needs to market ACI. ACI is well and self-marketed technology today. Everybody knows the importance of ACI. I just wanted to tell you that ACI is again a zero to hero technology course. In ACI, one of the most niche technology, called ACI multi-site, which we do perform with the help of multi-site orchestrator. And multi-site orchestrator we do extract as one of the service from Nexus dashboard, right? Is what we do learn. Multi-site. Before multi-site, there is a multi-pod. Everywhere nowadays, multi-pod configurations are going on. So what is multi-pod? How do the configurations? Pretty important. Besides, we do have, as I'm showing you, a lot of things. If you know about ACI, I really need not tell you what different things we need to do in ACI. Okay, I would like to call someone, right, to ask some questions. All right, and would first of all welcome Muhammad Ali, who has joined us, and MS by Yesh. Okay, welcome guys for joining. Thank you so much for showing your confidence over here. And Tavunia, welcome Tavunia as well. And dear friends, any question if you have? Do you cover OTV? Okay, Rick would meanwhile ask, do you cover, Rick, I'm so sorry, you asked this question around 12 plus 6, 18 minutes back. I just happened to see a question, and the answer to your beautiful question is no. Then further your question should be, why not? And the answer is, OTV was covered up till version 2.1. Cisco officially has removed overlay transport virtualization from version 3.0. That's the reason. Do you cover MX VXLAN? Tavunia. MS stands for multi-site VXLAN, right? And the answer is yes. If you want to do MS VXLAN, that's what I was covering. Multi-site VXLAN. That means your intention is to connect two of the sites, right? Using VXLAN overlay. We do have this particular lab as well, right? Yeah, we do have this particular lab available as well, but I really have to think, because in my second lab it is no. Let me tell you, no, I am not covering, but this lab is available. And since you have asked me, you have given me a high parameter to get this lab prepared. It will be soon there. Thank you so much for setting a high parameter for getting this lab prepared. This was one of my agenda. Thank you, Tavunia. I'm going to add this multi-site VXLAN lab as well. And starting from Monday, I'll start preparing it for sure. VXLAN is something I am love with. Okay. And Mahesh, do you have any question?
Hello.
Yeah, Mahesh.
Sir, Can I go to CCNP data center or CCIE data center? I don't have knowledge on CCNP data center.
My dear friend Mahesh, I'm going to start it from CCNA Data Center,
Okay.
right? We will be
Okay.
doing CCNA Data Center, CCNP Data Center, and
Hmm.
CCIE Data Center all together.
Okay. Okay. Total covered.
Yes,
Suppose
totally.
in
That
CCNP certification, suppose first we can complete CCNP and core or other certifications, sir, for data center.
for the
Complete.
CCIE Data Center,
Uh,
there is a lab examination that is called DC Core. That particular written examination will provide you CCNP Data Center certification, but at the same time will qualify you to go for CCIE Data Center lab examination as well.
in CCNP data center, which code, sir? 35060.
Yes, 350-060.
060. That is
Yes.
core. Two paper, only one paper in the CCNP.
I think it is single paper, but it's quite long back when I checked. But definitely the information is available on Cisco site.
Okay, okay. Only core is better to complete and with the how much package there, sir? See, after CCIE,
I'm sorry, how much?
how much package CCIE if CCIE complete after completion? How much package is there, sir, in the industry?
As strong as you can prove yourself in the interview, right?
Okay,
And based on your experience, you will get a package,
okay.
right?
I
There
have
are,
total experience.
I'm sorry, there are CCI data centers who are getting just a package of 5 lakhs per
Mhm.
annum, right? To 60 lakhs and
Okay,
1 CR.
okay.
And those they are getting people are who do not have the certification, still they are getting very high package based on the knowledge. My dear friends, getting a number doesn't qualify to get the package, but getting a knowledge is what makes you to deserve the package.
Interview, they are asking you have any certification asking CCNA or like no, but I failed as L2 position. I can I have DCL1 support engineer. I am working in CP technologies.
Okay,
Hello.
so
Because of I
initially
don't get the job L2 position CCNP because of I don't have CCNP certification. Certification
so
is mandatory.
you do acquire CCNP certification, right? That is not a challenge, but main focus of yours should be getting the knowledge, and that's what we are over here.
It is important. Knowledge is also important.
Yes, yes, I do understand. Yes,
Okay.
but our ultimate objective should be the knowledge because it is through which you prove
First,
yourself in
checking
that.
with the certification only, but in that industrial, every company first check the certification after interview will conduct. First, don't
We can talk
check the.
about it. I'll share my experience about with regards to this, Mahesh, with you
Okay,
personally.
okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Hmm?
Thank you, sir.
You're
Thank you.
welcome, Mahesh. Welcome.
Syllabus, sir.
I'm sorry.
Tell me the which topics covered.
NCCI Data Center.
Total CCIE data set,
Yes,
total
sure.
package.
Module 2 talks about ACI, gives
Sir?
us module 2, we were talking about, as I'm showing, talks about application centric infrastructure, wherein we do talk about multiple technologies. With the labs, we start from the scratch, right? We start from discovering the devices and registering them. And we go up till the highest and most complicated lab called multi-site lab. So we have got so many labs available for each and every technology. The labs wherein you can do the hands-on. Storage area networking, is the top module, which we do after our ACI. This is basically a foundation for the next topic called Unified Computing System, wherein we have a lab, and the lab requires a hands-on understanding of our storage area networking. So this is module number 4. After module number 4, which is UCS being done, we ourselves having the knowledge of LAN, SAN, and UCS, we merge all these knowledges together into a topic called HyperFlex. HyperFlex is nothing but it is a solution called hyper-converged infrastructure. So this is a new and one of the most niche technology. Various organizations are moving towards HyperFlex, which is of course not the solution by Cisco. There are various other organizations giving hyper-converged infrastructure solution. But since this is Cisco CCIE Data Center course, we will be focusing our attention towards Cisco's solution of hyper-converged infrastructure called HyperFlex. Right, and then comes Python, the network automation, the scripting language, which will empower us to do the configuration, say on ACI, not using GUI, but also using REST APIs, right? And this is very much there. It was very much introduced in version 2.0, right? It was first time that Cisco introduced Python in version 2.0, then continued in 2.1, and of course 3.0 definitely has it. Materials. Just would like to tell you what different materials you are going to get once you will join this particular course. We have got a website by the name of stringznet.com. All the study materials, all the class videos, all the videos PDFs, reference materials, they are uploaded. These videos are class videos. This means you can watch them, but you cannot download them. Rest, all these are downloadables. You will find certain exclusive downloadable materials in our portal, wherein you can get those materials, and well, getting those books is pretty difficult. You will get 24/7 access to the lab. Which lab? This Cisco D-Cloud lab. As I said, your VPC, your VXLAN, your multi-site, your ACI, your UCS, HyperFlex, all those labs will be covered. Will not recommend you, to use titanium and consume more resources of your devices, and will not recommend you to use EVNG as well. I will just recommend you to concentrate fully on the D-Cloud, which is in your hand 24/7, 365 days in a year, any time of your choice, across 4 different data centers across the globe. How? We'll tell you the way. Study methodology, slow and steady wins the race. So a consistency is the key to our success. This is a long journey where consistency in terms of your presence, participation in the class is what most desirable. Your discussions in the class with your peers is what is going to help you. Anytime if you want to reach me out, you want to discuss your professional issues, right? Your troubleshooting, etc. you require, I would love to handle those as well. Punctuality is key to our success. I don't want to lock the room, right? But would really appreciate punctuality will help you. I always try to start the class 15 minutes before, right? And but I don't like waiting for my friends to join, because our class is a very crispy session of say 60 to 90 minutes with a holistic intention that each and every word spoken is each and every word received. Considering this fact, would really appreciate you people to be very punctual in the class once you join. Eric Kipto. Hi, Eric. Thank you for joining. I just saw your ping. Thank you so much. All right. And besides punctuality.
Asif.
Yep.
Hello.
Please.
Yeah. Okay. I want to ask about the lab we can try to lab from the cloud. Is there any specific topic about CCIE-DC? Topology? No. Oh no. So just specific.
No.
Okay. And for CCIE, is there any troubleshooting question?
In CCIE version 3.0, are you asking, Risti?
Yeah, for 3.0.
Okay. Indeed, yes. You definitely should expect that there will be some troubleshooting. That's what I showed you. It says optimize. Optimize means something wrong will be there. You have to correct it. So you can definitely expect optimization to be done in your CCIE Data Center lab.
Okay, and in which topic? Randomly or?
It can be spread across multiple topics, but ACI is something where you can expect a lot of optimization requirement.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So being noticed that it was there in version 1.0, 2.0, 2.1 in VPC. So VPC is also something where optimization is required in terms of fixing something which is missing. Right?
One question, please.
Yeah, Mohammed. Yeah, question?
Is how much does it cost, this course?
This course. For the commercials, you can talk to our dear friend, Ryan, and he will tell you about the commercials. Well, I am a trainer, so commercials is not something which I'm handling. So, but I'll request Ryan to address the commercials to you and with all of you.
Okay.
Right? Okay. And
okay.
Eric joined, said hello, and I am not able to see Eric Kiptu. Okay. Monday to Friday, your batch timing will be morning 5:30 a.m. IST to 7 a.m. IST. This time is for the evening batch. How many hours of lab practice required? Boot camp also included in this. As I said, unlimited number of lab practice hours. As long as you can practice, you just have to spare your time and use the labs. Your questions, I invited your questions in between, and still anything related to non-disclosure agreement, something about the labs, there's that. We normally refrain ourselves from discussing those, but I do keep on sharing during the classes, right? What used to be there in version 1.0, 2.0, 2.1. When we will be discussing about our technology, it becomes very important to look the past year questions, because for the future we should know our past. So though something which is about the actuals, I will prohibit myself from talking to what is there in the actual lab, right? That is what comes under non-disclosure agreement. So we will keep non-disclosure agreement aside. Last but not least, I believe in lifelong relationship with you. So once you will enroll, and as long as I am over here teaching CCIE Data Center, right, you will be there anytime, n number of classes, n number of batches, morning, evening. If you want to join, you will be given the liberty to join. You just need to, once you are enrolled, right, you just need to drop the mail that I want to revise this topic. This is, you know that there are 2 batches, one morning, one evening IST time. Any of the batch you can do. You just need to know what technology is running, or if you want to do all the technologies, once again, you are more than welcome to join. And thank you very much for being over here. Any question? Because of the shortage of time, I really have to wrap it up over here. Have to jump over to another meeting. So, but even then, if you really want to have any question, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn ID is, you can easily find out just by the name. Go to LinkedIn, type Ashish Sehgal and write data center. You will get me there, and you can drop me a message. I am pretty active over there because I have a lot of friends in LinkedIn. I have to keep on connecting. Thank you very much. Anytime. And with regards to this session, if you have any feedback, if you have any comment, if you have any complaint, any suggestion, any question further, please do connect with me or our coordinator post this session. All right. Okay. Once again, thank you very much. And thank you very much for joining over here and sharing your valuable time with us on this platform. Hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye. Take care. And I am signing off. Thank you.